Ignore me. Just, my daily, I forgot to take my gum out before the podcast. Like, I swear to you, I could have everything all set. And then there's one little thing where I'm like, oh, fuck. Anyways. Let me drag this microphone a little closer to me.
Love hearing every little movement and that.
Welcome to the Pinfall podcast. My name is Liz. I'm your host today, and I'm always your host, so get used to it. I'm joined as always by my co-host, my beautiful, darling, dearest, angel, baby-faced co-host, Mark. Yes.
Hello. It is me.
Happy Raw.
This was a pretty good Raw. This was pretty good. Matches were okay, but we got some really great promos out of today.
I have to be honest with you. I don't know if maybe it's because I don't know if it's like because I woke up hungover and I know like drunk sleep isn't like real sleep. Like I almost got sick. Or I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm exhausted. Today felt like it was a million years long.
Well, it also didn't help that, like, with the episode, the whole thing, like, the main event was Bobby and Miz, and Bobby said at the top of the hour, give me your decision. And so that was like the big thing we're waiting for. And then once that hour came, it felt like, okay, we're here, we're done. But then we still had 2 hours to go.
I don't know why he didn't even just like say like you have 2 hours. Because at least then I'd be like, oh, home stretch.
Well, the reason for that is because Braun needed to come into the mix, and they needed to have Braun and Bobby as the main event, which they needed time to like promote a little bit.
I'm exhausted. I feel like I could fall asleep right now. Anywho, we have a ton of news, so do you want to start with that?
Oh boy, if it's a ton of news, let's just jump right in. I'm not even gonna fight it.
Alright. I'm gonna try to remember to do the fucking signs this time, because I've been really slacking on that.
Cue news being up the entire time.
Okay, so let's talk about some stuff in non-WWE environments. First thing is first.
Mm-hmm.
If I can find it. So as far as news concerning AEW is concerned, Anna Jay is out for 6 to 12 months.
That is crazy.
With a shoulder injury, I guess. Sorry, I just did something wrong.
Okay.
I did something very wrong. Oh god.
What did you do? Enlighten all of us.
I have been trying to strike through my notes when like the news is too much. Maybe if I do this. Yeah, okay. When I've got a ton of news, it's hard for me to focus on everything I want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been trying to like do the strike through.
Mm-hmm.
And I never remember what the shortcut is for that on Google Docs.
Oh.
So I tried to just do that, and then I opened up a microphone thing, and I was like, no? Anywho, let me see. Command-Shift-X. Okay. So, yes, Anna Jay is out with a shoulder injury. I think AEW expected her out for as long as it says she's going to be out for. Apparently... It doesn't even say what happened. Maybe if we watched AEW, we would know. But apparently she got some injury that is going to require surgery to fix. So that fucking blows for her. There we go. Got it. In addition to that, this will be a good segue. John Moxley had a really funny story about Ric Flair, apparently.
Oh boy.
Apparently, he and Rick were at an airport after a night of drinking. Like, I guess they were going to get on a flight probably to like another show or something. And Ric Flair was so drunk that he got arrested.
That does not shock me in
and
the slightest.
John apparently is like trying to corral this old drunk ass man, and like the whole story is just like a smaller point into like the fact that he's like, I can't believe this is my life, like it's crazy. But still, I'm just like imagining like drunk ass Ric Flair and John Moxley just being like, I have to be the big boy now. That's not good. That's never a good sign. Anyways, just wanted to bring that up. So let's start with some people coming, people going, and people who are fucking over WWE in a good way.
Okay.
First things first, I don't know if you want to talk about this a little more, but Keith Lee is still
Fun.
Not around. I don't know why. I kind of thought we would see him today.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently he wasn't in the he wasn't at Tropicana at all yesterday for the pay-per-view. And apparently it's not even confirmed that he has an injury. The article here on Wrestle Talk just says that the belief is that he has an injury.
I'm telling you, he's released.
I don't think he's released. I feel like that's released is such a bold thing to do.
No.
I mean, if Aleister Black isn't released, then neither is Keith. They have a contract at the end of the day. You got to buy them out. It's not just like working at like Sears and somebody turning around being like, I don't like you anymore.
But we don't know if his contract is up.
His contract is not up.
Oh, okay.
I know that for a fact. Yeah. Because I think he just resigned earlier or later last year.
Okay. Because I know like some people don't make their contracts public.
Yeah. Because it was a whole thing with him because his name wasn't trademarkable because he trademarked his own name. In addition to that, actually, speaking of that specifically, so several trademarks requests were denied to the WWE due to lack of written consent from talent. And interestingly enough, all of the people that are part of this group are, I believe all of them are, what is it? What is the word I'm looking for?
Developmental?
NXT UK.
Oh, okay.
No, NXT UK people. Trying to... Sometimes I don't actually get all the articles, but I know among the names were people like A-Kid, Ify Valkyrie. Let's see. Let me try to find this so I can talk about it in depth. Because sometimes, like, I go through and I try to get everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not easy. It's not always easy. My results. Folks. I never said that was on top of my game today. Maybe I'll find it. Who knows?
Maybe. At some point.
In the foreseeable future, it might happen. Do you have anything to talk about while we do this? While we play this game?
Not in the news segment. I don't know of any news. I mean, yeah, I don't have
I've got one
anything.
thing I can tell you about,
Okay.
but while I try to figure this out, Paige is trying to come back,
I thought she was always trying to come back.
but she's like putting in the work now.
Hmm.
Like trying to get signed off on like being ready to come back to wrestling, which was interesting to me. I didn't really think that she would want to come back after the whole third party thing happened.
Hmm.
Um, but I didn't think that she would wanna return.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they worked out something. Because remember there was that moment where Paige, AJ, and Xavier met with Vince to talk about it.
Yeah, but also I don't think that anything came of that.
Hmm.
Wasn't that before Zelina was fired?
That was after. That was after she was fired.
Yeah. Oh god, I guess I'm never gonna find this. But yeah, it was just names including like Evie Valkyrie, just everyone from NXT UK. Oh, here it is. I found it. First, the moment I tried to like give up. So Dominic Mysterio is one of them. You know, phenomenal NXT UK talent. As is Chelsea Green. But Kaylee Ray didn't. A-Kid didn't. Amal didn't. That French girl. Amir Jordan has not, and neither has Evie Valkyrie. People who did this last year were Keith Lee, Mia Yim, and Mercedes Martinez, who ended up filing for their own names, which just seems smarter. And I think that we're probably going to see more of this soon, considering everything that WWE has been up to.
Right. Makes sense. I think AJ started that whole thing in WWE, and it's just good protection thing to do. I actually do have a little piece of news that I'm not sure if is
just in time.
I'm not sure if it's widely known, but do you know of Austin Aries? He's in Ring of Honor.
I've heard the name.
Formerly in WWE as Roderick Strong's tag team partner.
They were going to say formerly in WWE as Roderick Strong, and I was like, I think there was an easier way to go into this.
Well,
but I know the name.
Well, he is apparently a COVID denier, and
Oh, come
has
on, buddy.
even gone as far to sign tinfoil hats.
I feel like anybody with like that goes out there with the name Austin, at the end of the day, I'm just like, no, you fucking suck.
Trying to think if we know of any Austins. I went to school with somebody named Austin who was like a pathological
Austin
liar.
Theory.
Austin Theory.
I just met in wrestling. I knew a couple Austins. I've never met an Austin that was normal. I went to school with two Austins. One was insane. Dropped out, I think. The other, he wasn't like bad or anything. He was just like about as bland as a piece of like white Wonder Bread.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to college with an Austin who was, whew, that kid is gonna make a therapist a lot of money one day.
Also, there is something very strange happening on Twitter right now, and nobody's really sure what is happening. I know Sean Ross Sapp is completely clueless as to what it is. Certain WWE stars are randomly tweeting out "the sky is blue." That includes Cedric Alexander, Nikki Cross, Mia Yim, with no explanation. Shelton Benjamin tweeted it too. Might just be some kind of inside joke, or there's some foreshadowing coming. I don't know.
Maybe it's like just like, oh, no wonder Bobby Lashley won.
Maybe.
Because like that's like a saying where it's like, oh, and the sky is blue. Like
Mia Yim
obviously.
tweeted this 4 hours ago at 7 p.m. They
I don't like the sleeper cell shit.
They all tweeted it basically at the same time. Shelton tweeted it 1 minute after Nikki. Oh no, 1 minute before Nikki, and Nikki tweeted it 3 minutes before Mia Yim. And I don't know where Cedric lines up in that, but they're all liking each other's tweets too about this. It seems like some weird inside thing. No idea what's going on. But I don't know if it's anybody outside of these 4 superstars that are doing it. Adam Pearce also liked the tweet.
That's like, it's innocuous, but at the same time, it's creepier than anything Alexa Bliss has done in the past 3 months.
Let me see if Adam Pearce also tweeted it. Very strange. And again, Sean Ross Sapp also specifically said he has no idea what's happening. Yeah, Adam Pearce did not tweet it, but sky is blue. Maybe something to do with SmackDown? I don't know. And, I mean, Shelton and Cedric, that's one thing. Mia Yim, that's okay. But then Nikki Cross. I don't know. I don't know. Sky is blue.
Like, if it were just Cedric and Shelton, I'd get it.
Yeah.
I think it's just got something to do with Bobby.
Right.
But with Mia, I was like, okay, maybe it's like something Raw related. But now that Nikki's involved, Nikki doesn't even fit into any of those spheres.
Nikki's in Raw. But
Nikki is in Raw. You are correct.
oh no. Watch, it's gonna be some kind of like prank just to see like everyone panic. I'm gonna recheck Sean Ross Sapp's Twitter, see if he provided an update on.
I don't see where he's talking about it at all. See anywhere that he's like about it.
Let's see. We did it earlier.
Somebody said, "Do you know anything about the sky is blue thing?" And he said, "I have confirmed the sky is blue."
Hold on. He replied to himself earlier about it. Huh.
I'm so confused by this. It like kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't like cryptic shit.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find what he said. I'm gonna find it. Just give me 1 second. That's 6 hours ago.
You know how I feel.
Okay. So he tweeted 2 hours ago saying, "I don't have a clue what the sky is blue tweets are about. Thanks." And replied to himself saying, "I know what was tweeted. I don't know why it was tweeted. Please stop explaining. LOL."
That's so weird.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep looking through his tweets to see if I find anything new. But if anything does come along, I'll update. If you have any more news, please fill us in.
I will continue. I don't like that shit. I don't care for that shit. I don't like it. No. Anyways, so I've just got some basic WWE news. Speaking of, first and foremost, Buddy Murphy called out the WWE in a fun little way. Let's see. Now I'm doing it. All right. Well, I'm not gonna find that article, but so basically, okay. He said that the WWE Elimination Chamber should have had new stars in it. He tweeted, "So hashtag WWE Chambers full of capitalized former WWE champions. How about a chamber full of the future?" In all caps.
Mm-hmm.
Where he then added himself for some reason. Kind of just assumed that he would include himself in that, but Mustafa, Alistair, Cedric, Callisto, Apollo, Chad, Ricochet, Umberto, Angel Garza, and Drew Gulak. Which, like, if Alistair were still a wrestler, I'd get it, but, like, I don't. Anyhow. I genuinely, like, I thought about it recently, and I have not missed Alistair more than I miss him right now. Yeah. Like, I miss his style so much.
I agree. I mean, there's another wrestling podcast that I watch that just talks about, like, Vince fucking loves Reginald. Is putting Reginald everywhere, putting him in these mixed matches where he's not even getting strikes off, but will keep somebody like Aleister Black off of TV practically for good. Makes no sense.
I don't know. And he's gonna lose him. Honestly, he's gonna lose him soon. I think if he doesn't realize him, Alistair's gonna walk out on that contract. If he has to sit another 6 months doing fuck all just to go wrestle somewhere else that cares about him, he'll do it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, Big E launched a project to teach kids Black history in honor of Black History Month. It is called Our Heroes Rock, and it is currently a Kickstarter campaign that you can donate to via a link. I don't know how to. I'm sure if you just look up Our Heroes Rock Kickstarter, it'll come up.
It'll be found in his Twitter.
I'm sure it can. Yeah, I'm sure it can be. I didn't look into that, but I'm sure it can be because this is something he's doing. Mm-hmm. But it is in collaboration with Grammy-nominated rapper Rhapsody. And basically, when he talked about it on Yahoo Sports, he talked about how after the murder of George Floyd, he didn't really know what to do with himself. And he said that he wanted to make a change, so he wanted to make this education program using hip-hop and science fiction to make learning fun. Which I think is kind of taking a page out of Lovecraft Country in a weird way, right? Taking science fiction, I mean.
Yeah. After watching that whole show, I don't know. The whole show is fucking wild. It's hard to draw parallels.
But right now, the goal is $75,000 by April 12th, which seems like a lot, but I feel like he's got big names, so that might help. But you can find the link in his Twitter. I see the tweet now. And you can watch a full interview with him on Yahoo Sports. Donate if you can. Also, I wanted to talk about Cesaro. Made the sweetest little tweet.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
After his loss yesterday, he tweeted, "I've been driving for an hour in silence. I don't really know what to say. So close. Thanks to everyone who believed and still does. I still do. I appreciate you always." And I said, "Now we'll definitely buy that fucking shirt, you dick. God damn it."
The real breaking news.
I don't have money. Real heartbreaking news. I'm just excited for this face turn, dude. I think that he's got so much he can milk out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Cutie. And now we also have some news about Conan, who is not Conan O'Brien.
Okay. I think it's pronounced Conan.
Conan. It's spelled Konnan, so it doesn't. There's no on in there really. But that said, he was recently released from the hospital. A new report says that he's improving at home, but still receiving medical assistance. Basically, Dave Meltzer said that out of the hospital, so it's better than he was doing a week ago. I did hear from him today. He's home. He needs a nurse. He needs a lot of medicine and things like that. It was really bad a week ago. Bad enough that they talked to him about what decision should be made if his kidney stopped working or his heart stopped working. So it was really bad. I feared when I heard that he had COVID. I really feared a lot because his immune system is very weak from having the kidney transplant and all the anti-rejection drugs he takes and took back in the day and everything like that. They said like his health has been messed up since 2007, but he's doing better, even though he does technically need like around-the-clock care. So, you know, fingers are crossed for that dude. Does not seem like an easy situation. Any means.
Yeah.
So, we also have reason for why Peacock has Fastlane. And why Fastlane is even fucking happening, which is a question that you and I threw around yesterday. Fastlane is happening because Peacock needs a pay-per-view event to basically spot test before WrestleMania.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so they're using this basically non-important pay-per-view to hopefully iron out any kinks that might come up prior to, you know, the biggest event in WWE's entire year.
So I fully expect, and everyone should expect, some kind of problems happening during the Fastlane broadcast, whether it be some, like maybe an outage or, I don't know, something.
I'm excited. I'm really excited to see how this goes down. Because I figure Fastlane's gonna be just as boring as Elimination Chamber, so I'm like, yeah, well, at least we might be entertained by some blunders.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about fucking AEW real quick.
Oh man, we have more news?
2 more pieces. One is this, and the other is just some WrestleMania predictions.
Okay.
So AEW, Arn Anderson decided to come out and make some remarks about WWE using Bad Bunny. And he said, I don't know anything about Bad Bunny. If they're not big fans, what are they doing on a show? Wrestling fans dedicated to a wrestling show and wrestlers. They're not there to see Hollywood stars or anything of that nature. It's an aggravation to them when they don't know who it is. If I don't know who it is, I just watch their performance on the show and critique it for what it is. Wrestling fans get pissed because it's downtime. The celebrities that we've had over the years have nothing to do with the wrestling and whatsoever. You can see it from the fans. The fact is there's a place. It's called the rest of the world. It's not America. And if he's a big star, there's probably a reason for it. Which, first of all, Bad Bunny is a massive celebrity right now, as far as like the music industry is concerned. I don't understand people who come around and they're like, I don't know who he is, so therefore nobody knows who he is. And I'm like,
right. Like,
I don't listen to the radio and I know who the fuck he is.
I am clearly everybody, and I don't know who he is, so therefore nobody knows who he is.
It's like, it's so crazy to me because I'm like, again, I don't listen to the radio. I don't listen to like any. I rarely interact with pop culture because I have my bubble that I pretty much live in. I know who Bad Bunny is, and I would have known who Bad Bunny is even if I didn't have friends who knew who he was. Just because I read the news. But that aside, it's just funny to me because Arn Anderson said this. And Shaq is on their card for this Wednesday. So if your whole thing is don't have celebrities because you're wasting everybody's time because they're not wrestlers and that's what wrestling fans are here for, then it's like, buddy, got a little bit of a problem with you right now.
Yeah, I mean, celebrity wrestlers are good because it provides a gateway for mainstream fans to join in the community. Like a lot of Bad Bunny fans probably wouldn't have known about WWE or like given it a watch, but because Bad Bunny's a part of it, they have some kind of connection. And then having him attached to Damian Priest gives them a wrestler to latch onto. And I mean, I'm not gonna knock on Shaq being on AEW, even though he's like an old name and maybe irrelevant right now, but he's he's more mainstream than Bad Bunny, so it's a good play from AEW, but it's all celebrity wrestlers at the end of the day. I'd much prefer somebody a
Right.
little more obscure than somebody like fucking Mike Tyson.
And the thing is, I don't have a problem with Shaq either. It's more so I have a problem with somebody saying this and then Shaq being on your show in like what is it? I think it's next week or the week after. But also just the way that he speaks for wrestling fans as if he is the all-knowing source. Just wrestling fans don't like this, and I'm like, well, then I must not fucking be a wrestling fan, buddy, because I'm just sitting here and I'm having a good fucking time.
Wrestling fans are
I'm
young
having
and nerdy
fun.
now. They're not old old rednecks living in Kentucky. No, they're young people into pop culture and love this kind of shit.
Yeah, it's like it's so weird to me. It's like again, if he hadn't like if Shaq wasn't on the card and he had said this, I'd be like, okay, whatever. You have opinions. They're stupid, but you have opinions. But like, it just seems so poorly foreseen.
Yeah.
Go ahead and say all this shit. And it's like, I don't know. I just had to talk about that. Real quick, WrestleMania planned matches not confirmed. Nothing is set in stone besides Edge versus Roman. But right now, it is looking like there's going to be Belair versus Banks, Orton versus Wyatt.
Okay, of course.
Which means that we'll probably get Bray back by Fastlane.
Okay.
And Bad Bunny in a tag match.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know. I didn't know how it was gonna chalk up because people have been talking about that for a while. I didn't know how it was gonna chalk up at the end of the day, but I'm interested.
Seems like Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus Miz and Morrison.
I'm fine with that. I think that'll be cute.
So shall we jump into the Raw episode? Now that
I've been trying to put it off as best I can, but
now that we're 44 minutes into the podcast.
Oh God, who cares? It's a Monday.
I have an early morning tomorrow.
Do you?
Yeah, I gotta go into.
Where are you going?
I have work tomorrow. I gotta go into the city.
Oh, I didn't know that. Jesus, you don't share your schedule with me.
I told you I was working tomorrow.
I don't know.
Anyway, we start off with Miz TV. John Morrison starts us off in the middle of a ring filled with, or surrounded by balloons and celebratory items to celebrate Miz getting the WWE Championship. Miz comes out holding the title and starts talking on the mic saying that none of the legends stack up to his longevity and star power, and he names off some people, including Bobby Lashley. He said he wasn't sneaky. He said exactly what would happen. He told Drew to his face what would happen. And he also mentioned that he is the first two-time Grand Slam champion, meaning that he has gotten every single title in the WWE twice, at least. And then we have Bobby Lashley coming out along with MVP. MVP said The Miz left out the part where Bobby allowed The Miz to get the title by beating up on Drew after the match. Miz quickly dismisses MVP, but then MVP says that John Morrison cost Bobby his US title and said Bobby should be the first in line for a title opportunity because of that. Miz didn't say when he'd give Bobby an opportunity, but he did say he'd give him one. And he said because he's a champion, he's so busy, he's got no time. Bobby chimes in and gives Miz 1 hour to come to his decision. One way or another, he's going to take the title, and he's going to make it painful, merciless, and awesome. After that, we have Riddle and Lucha House Party backstage. Lindsay congratulates Riddle on getting the title. Riddle doesn't realize he's congratulating him on the title and thinks and responds saying, "Thanks, I just got my first win in Warzone." the other day. It was like so awesome, and Lindsay corrects him and says, "No, no, no, I'm talking about your title, dude." And Riddle says he's gonna name his title Travis. And he has a match with John Morrison right after this, and pulls out a scooter to get across the Tropicana field to get there. And then that drops us into John Morrison versus Riddle.
Yes, it does. All right. I'll try to go through these matches quicker than usual because there are quite a few matches tonight.
There were.
Riddle tries for the armbar, but is rolled up. There's a kick to the chest of Mr. Riddle and a weird, like, back heel kind of move. Like, Morrison's leg was completely extended, and then he kind of, like, flexed it a little just to get that hit in. Morrison goes for a flip onto Riddle, but is immediately drawn into an armbar again. John tries to kick Riddle, and Riddle goes for the ankle lock. Morrison dodges a PK and manages an overhead kick to Riddle. We get a gut wrench suplex to Morrison. Morrison puts a thumb in Riddle's eye. Didn't feel on purpose because, like, that's usually like a low blow and like something that the referee like yells at you for. But this was just like Riddle just suddenly like, oh fuck, and I was like, weirdo.
There were a lot of things that are normally considered low blows. Like I think AJ went for a throat punch on Ricochet, and the ref said
Riddle
nothing
also
about it.
Riddle almost like went for it, like a legitimate low blow on Morrison. I don't think it was intentional really, but Morrison was very close to the top buckle. I don't know when this happens in the match because I didn't take notes, but Morrison was really close to the top buckle and Riddle reached under him.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Just kind of chilled there for a second. I was like, it's either a low blow or it's invasive.
It's sexual assault.
I don't know which. Well, anyways. We get a modified Dragon Sleeper on Riddle. Riddle goes for the floating bro, but Morrison avoids. He kicks Riddle off the apron and then does like a spinning crossbody over the ropes. May have ruined his knee on the way down when he hits ringside because his knee was fully extended and it was just right into the fucking ground. Not great. Riddle goes and takes Morrison. Once they're back in the ring, he takes Morrison back on out with a triangle submission hold over the top rope. We get a senton from Riddle on Mr. Morrison, but hits his knees instead. Morrison manages a catapult that nearly kills himself because he catapults Riddle and then goes over him in like a jackknife fashion and almost lands on his fucking head. Then we get a Pele kick upside the head to Morrison and a fisherman's suplex. Morrison avoids the PK again, and we get a standing moonsault attempt, but Riddle catches. Oh. Morrison avoids the PK again, and a standing moonsault attempt. Riddle manages to get out onto the apron while Morrison is ringside and catches him with a kick to like the face area. We get a floating bro out onto Morrison and a German suplex to Morrison. Morrison manages a really nice Spanish fly after this off the second ropes to Mr. Riddle. He goes for the Moonlight Drive, but is met with the, God help me, the bro to sleep.
Can I just say the Spanish fly was crazy because he like turned himself 90 degrees to avoid like any kind of head contact. That was so cool.
John Morrison's is a hidden legend, I think.
Defies gravity.
Yeah. Morrison super kicks Riddle. There's a knee strike that rocks Riddle all the way down to the ground. Morrison then attempts Starship Pain, but Riddle catches him, throws him down in the Bro Derek to win. La-di-da-di-da.
Yeah. And then after that, we get one of two identical video packages about Rhea Ripley. Basically, just clips of her, and then saying that she is coming soon to Raw. They finally made a decision of where to put her, and that is Raw. I think it's the better brand for her. It's the brand that needs her, honestly. And maybe we'll get... Well, it's a perfect place to get a WrestleMania rematch between Charlotte and Rhea. Don't you think?
Please don't let that happen because a lot of people are complaining about it already.
Bug those people. I want it to happen.
I wouldn't mind it happening, but not for a title. Because I don't know where Charlotte's going to be at by WrestleMania.
Well,
I think.
sorry, go
Go
ahead.
on. No, go on.
I think Fastlane's going to be where Charlotte takes the title from Asuka, especially based on where we went today. And
Oh.
that will put Rhea on the track to a rematch with Charlotte, because I mean Rhea's been talking this whole time for like almost a year now of her saying she wants, well, actually not almost a year, but since last WrestleMania, that she wants to redo that match, because she even thinks that she didn't perform as well as she could. And that's been something WWE has kind of just been shouting on or giving her the megaphone to say.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that, but still, I'm very excited for Rhea to come back. In whatever form she comes back in. I missed her.
Or we get Rhea Ripley versus Alexa Bliss. Ooh, and so if Randy's facing Fiend,
Rhea Ripley, Randy tag match, mixed tag, please.
or at least
Please.
friendship.
I don't think I'm gonna be okay with that. I don't think I'm gonna come out the other side of that one. I think I'm gonna I will die within that storyline.
Imagine hearing their walkouts one after another. But after that we have Bad Bunny and Damian Priest in an interview. Not much is asked though, but R-Truth is seen in the background, and Damian just turns and says, "I can see you, Truth." R-Truth has a ref with him, and R-Truth just pushes the ref away and tells him to and shoos him away. Truth says some things I can't remember, and then Damian gets in Truth's face and basically just intimidates him to go away. Basically proving that there's no way anybody is touching the 24/7 title while Damian's around. And then we have Miz talking to Adam Pearce backstage. Miz is completely outraged by how Bobby reacted, or his behavior on Miz TV. He said that his deal with MVP was never in writing, but Pearce says Miz, being a fighting champion, needs to stand up and take on all challenges that are put in his face, including Bobby Lashley. Now we have the next match between the New Day and Retribution, primarily Mace and T-Bar.
Sorry, folks. Laptop's about to die. Don't need that. All right. Retribution versus New Day. We start with Xavier in the ring. He's a little too busy wooing Mia into a match. And T-Bar just slugs him in the stomach. We eventually get Kofi in basically right afterwards. Kofi's manipulating the arm of T-Bar until he is lifted by Mr. T-Bar and just planted in the fucking ground. Mace gets in. He slams Kofi down a couple times before T-Bar gets back in and kicks him in the head. T-Bar sends Kofi down into a backbreaker. He takes Xavier off the apron with a boot to the face. Mace comes in again. We get a team choke slam to Kofi. T-Bar gets back in. Mace slams Kofi down again in the same way that he was doing before, just ragdolling him into the ground. And T-Bar goes to do the same thing that they did prior, where T-Bar kicks him in the head. But in probably the funniest shot of the night, T-Bar runs back to bounce off the ropes as Xavier lowers one of the ropes. Just camera not focusing on T-Bar at all at this point. You see T-Bar go up over the ropes and then vanish. And I was like, okay. All right. And all of this was at the urging of Mustafa, who just said, you guys got to go back in there and do it again. Do it again. And I was like, micromanage them a little bit more. God. Anyways. I'm kidding. I love him. But we get a Trouble in Paradise 2 Mace and then a Trouble in Paradise 2 T-Bar. New Day win. And Mustafa is naturally just fucking livid. he gets in there and he basically just says, "You guys keep disappointing me. Like, what am I supposed to do with you?" And then just threw his hands in the air and walked off. So I don't know what that means. I don't know where this is going.
It's either going to be a short-lived retribution where the members turn on him, like you suggested while we were watching it, or they come back stronger than ever and really dominate, especially with a Hurt Business where Bobby Lashley has the WWE Championship, and it would be two Titan factions facing each other. Two realities that could work. It would be a little sad to see Retribution go on so soon. Especially since you have these wrestlers who were in Retribution and basically dissolved their previous characters, and what are you going to do, just have their characters reappear again as if nothing happened? I mean, you did the same with Mercedes Martinez. Like, are you going to do that with every one of them?
I think they'll kind of have them like returning to normal life if that ever does happen. But it's just kind of a shame because it's like, not even a shame because nothing's really happened yet, but like it's kind of annoying because Retribution has the best promos outside of the ring. And by that I mean like on Twitter, on Raw Talk, and then it's never referenced in Raw itself.
Yeah.
And it's like, let my man Mustafa speak his fucking mind and make it available to like the general public.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy.
Yeah, me too. But we then have Adam Pearce at the top of the hour in the ring, talking about Bobby and The Miz. He introduces Bobby Lashley, who comes out with MVP. And then he introduces The Miz, who comes out with John Morrison. Miz reveals that his decision is that he needs more time. Bobby quickly says to quit stalling. MVP said The Miz only has a deal with him and Bobby, and that there should be nobody else in the mix. There's nobody to be waiting on. But Miz responds by saying he wants to give Bobby his best, so he needs more time to give him just that. He says, "Give me a week, just a week." But then Braun comes out and and demands a title opportunity as well, and Adam Pearce just says, no, you can't do that. It's not how it works. But Braun responds by saying, you denied me, you and Shane both denied me a match, or a chance at the Elimination Chamber match. So you're both out to get me. Then Shane McMahon comes out. He says Braun can't storm in and just claim a title opportunity. Braun just said, Shane then said, just like with the Elimination Chamber, that was only for former WWE champions, and you are not a former WWE champion. And Braun just says, well, that sucks. You guys suck. This championship sucks. Everything sucks. He said he wants a title opportunity tonight. And then Shane just says, well, I think that idea sucks. Braun says he wants a title match against the challenger tonight, Bobby. Which Shane likes that idea. And he added that if Braun wins, next week will be a triple threat for the title. Very interesting. And that's kind of where we end it. That's what's on the agenda for tonight as the main event. But right now we have the Hurt Business, Sheldon and Cedric versus Lucha House Party.
Yes. We start this match.
Oh.
With Lindsay and Cedric. Oh, wait.
We should also add it's a tornado tag match. So it's going to be chaotic.
Hurricane.
No, it's tornado.
I thought we were calling it a hurricane tag match. Oh, no, you called it a hurricane tag match at one point for some reason. That got stuck in my head.
Oh.
You did.
I don't know why I did.
Anyway, so we start with everybody in the ring. We get a clothesline from Shelton to Lindsay, and a dropkick to like the cervical spine of Lindsay from Cedric that basically looked like it shot the spine vertebrae into like the front of Lindsay's throat.
Yeah.
It like the sound of the impact just made me like want to like hurl. Shelton takes the slugging Grand Metalik in the corner. We get a back body drop from Shelton to Grand Metalik that very nearly kills Grand Metalik. Grand Metalik had to do a lot of work to maneuver himself to not fall on his fucking head. At this point, Lindsay is strung over Shelton's back and met with a dropkick from Cedric. Lindsay is then thrown out of the ring. We get a snap suplex to Grand Metalik from Shelton and a drop knee to Grand Metalik from Cedric. Cedric takes Lindsay, who is trying to help Grand Metalik and protect him, and throws him into the barricade and the apron. He took Lindsay, who was ringside, and trying to keep Grand Metalik from being pinned. Throws him around. Grand Metalik takes to slugging Shelton. He goes up to the second rope, and Shelton lifts him for a powerbomb, which Lindsay, thank God, breaks the cover. Mm-hmm. And at this point is when MVP says about Lindsay and Grand Metalik, is he protecting his baby boy or what? And I said, yes, he is, Mr. MVP. He is protecting his baby boy. They're each other's baby boys. Don't start with me. So Cedric takes to choking Lindsay out against the ropes while screaming Lucha very loudly over and over. And I was like, oh, buddy, you like really, you've lost the plot entirely, haven't you? Like, you're gone. Gone to Looney Town. So Shelton lifts Grand Metalik and Lindsay grabs Cedric, who's setting up for some sort of tandem offense. Kicks him. We get a DDT to Shelton from Lindsay and a splash from Grand Metalik off the ropes. Grand Metalik and Lindsay gang up on Cedric. We get a back elbow to Grand Metalik from Cedric. Lindsay hits a less than impressive Hurricane Rana. No offense to him. He is the love of my life. Just take that fucking mask off. Shelton gets back in after a failed frog splash to Cedric from Grand Metalik. We get a shoulder tackle to Grand Metalik that sends him absolutely fucking spiraling out of control. A hard knee strike from Cedric to Lindsay, and then pay dirt to Lindsay from Shelton for the Hurt LLC to win. Whew.
Yeah. Pretty cool match. But we all know the real reason why this was a tornado tag, because it was to stop Cedric from being able to tag in randomly on Shelton. And vice versa. But without any time to rest, we then have Damian Priest versus Angel Garza with Bad Bunny on the sidelines.
Yes, we do. So Damian, my prince of a man. Damian, right off the back, hits Garza with a fucking humongous clothesline. He just beats Garza down in the fucking corner. There's a flying back elbow to Garza. Garza manages two really nasty clotheslines in response to Priest, and gets like this weird butterfly submission on Damian, which I thought was really hot. Angel goes for a back elbow, but he's caught with the bell clap and then kicked upside the head. Damian does his goofy little Archer of Infamy thing, which I love him to death. But also, but then he makes up for it with a broken arrow to Garza, which is always very impressive. Garza clotheslines Damian out of the ring. He then takes to taunting Mr. Bad Bunny. And Mr. Bad Bunny's sitting there with his necklace, aka the 24/7 championship.
Wearing it just like how the Fiend used to.
Good for him. I like that he's like, no, this is not a belt. But Garza starts taunting Bad Bunny, and Priest is up on the apron looking like he's just trying to catch his breath. But in reality, when Garza approaches, he kicks him upside the head. He was waiting. Then we get a kick off the ropes to Mr. Garza, and then a hit the lights, as I guess we're calling it now, for Damian to win. Then, for once, we had the horde of the 24/7 championship folks come in to attack Bad Bunny, and Damian said, "That's my sweet, sweet brother, so don't fucking touch him." And he managed to take out all but one of the competitors, one of them being Drew Gulak, who ended up actually making it to Bad Bunny, and Bad Bunny just fucking tossed his ass. He said, "Okay. Fucking, there you go, Arn Anderson. Not a fucking wrestler, my ass." Love that man.
I mean, I feel like that's like yelling at SNL for bringing in musicians that aren't comedians.
And it's like everything at the end of the day, when it comes to wrestling, when it comes to any sort of entertainment, it's all business, baby. Yeah. It's all money. And at the very least, we're spending money on somebody who grew up wanting to do this. Like, this is his fucking dream.
He's been posting with that 24/7 title a lot. Love it.
Yeah. I like seeing him this happy because, like, at least I know he cares.
Yeah.
He's not just there for the paycheck.
He's not. He's not there for, like, just to grab more audience. Like, he's there because he loves wrestling. And after that, my God. Okay, we have Randy Orton talking backstage just to himself. He just talks about failure and how he failed at the Elimination Chamber and the Gauntlet. Said he should have won the Gauntlet, but he asked himself, what's the distraction? He starts to cough a little bit, like he's clearing his throat. We think it's just, it's just him just needing to cough.
He played it off well.
He did. But he said he's not distracted by the Fiend. He's distracted by Alexa Bliss. But then he starts to cough some more and even coughs up some black goop. Same black goop that Alexa Bliss spit up that one time in the ring.
Which I think means that the Fiend is close.
I think so too. A lot of people don't like the supernatural stuff. I'm all for it. I love supernatural shit, especially in wrestling, because it shouldn't take itself seriously. And if it's gonna take itself seriously, take something like this seriously.
I mean, as everybody knows, I would rather claw my own fucking front teeth out than deal with more Alexa Bliss shit. This promo, however, was actually good. I liked it a lot. Mostly because Randy did play off the cough so well that we did kind of think, oh, it's just a flub. And the way that they set it up, and this more so goes towards the directing of it, that we had the cough, he finished his line, we went right into like the flashback to Alexa Bliss standing in the empty pentagram, which is not going to summon anything. But then from there, I guess she did have his ashes in it, so maybe that still counts.
Yeah, she had his ashes. I mean, she could also be the object. All the
puppets that he killed.
What if she is now gone because she used herself to summon the Fiend? We didn't see her at all. I'm not giving
her the benefit of that generous doubt.
All right.
But I was just gonna say that the fact that we came right back from that to Randy spitting up the black shit, I was like, in theory, not that freaky, but when you are just minding your own fucking business watching a flashback and then all of a sudden Randy Orton's just puking black shit, you're like, someone call somebody. This is probably a medical problem. Too much fucking activated charcoal, Randy. This is what's gonna happen to you.
Yeah.
If you've ever gotten hungover and you've taken activated charcoal and then still gotten sick. Woo! Horrifying.
Right after that, we then move on to Charlotte Flair and Asuka versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler.
AKA the match that gave me a lot of anxiety. And led to a promo that gave me a lot of anxiety, so
Why?
Anyways, also, I hope everybody likes my new... I just want everyone to look at my new sweatshirt. I hope everyone really likes it.
My sweatshirt.
No, it's mine.
Mine.
Gonna have to peel off my cold, dead body.
What?
Wait until it goes into my laundry.
What's the what's the picture on it?
It's an album cover.
Of whose album?
I know the band.
Do you?
I think I knew the band when you said the name.
Okay, who is it?
Who is it?
Do you want me to tell you?
Yes.
New Order.
Oh, I like New Order.
Yeah. Can I just say, you're gonna have Charlotte Flair and Asuka lose this match from the get-go. Replace Nia and Shayna with Lana and Naomi. So that way Lana and Naomi get over as a tag team. You can completely get rid of the Lana, Naomi, Dana Brooke, Mandy Rose match and just have the Braun Bobby match longer than 7 minutes, maybe 6 minutes. Like, Raw's booking is so bad. Raw has such horrible booking. Anyway. Jump into the match?
So we start with Asuka and Shayna. Asuka gets an octopus lock on Shayna, but is pretty much quickly countered into a stretch muffler submission around Shayna's neck. Charlotte gets in. We get a wrist lock on Shayna, so Shayna ends up getting... We get a wrist lock on Shayna. Shayna ends up getting free. She tags in Nia. Charlotte gets a headlock on Nia. Shayna gets back in. We get an overhead toss to Shayna and a kip up. And a team drop kick to Nia. Nia and Asuka are in the ring post-commercial break. Shayna gets in pretty much right afterwards. There's a kick to the back of Asuka from Shayna and a very lovely, delicate little arm lock. And an elbow stomp to Asuka. And I said, wow, Shayna, do that to me, please. Nia gets in. She wraps Asuka's arm around the ropes after it's already received a ton of abuse from Shayna. Shayna gets back in. Shayna goes back to breaking the arm of Asuka, goes for the stomp a second time, but it does not work. Now Charlotte's in. And Charlotte is angry, for one. Just being real mean. Just a lot of punches. Finally, Shayna just says, fuck this shit, tags in Nia and just stands there dazed. They attempt a team suplex to Charlotte, but she lands on her feet. She clotheslines Shayna and then chops Nia. There's a cartwheel to the apron over the ropes and a boot to the face of Shayna. And then Nia Jax powerbombs the ever-loving Christ out of Charlotte. Charlotte doesn't quite tuck in her noggin, and I was like, oh, baby girl, you really almost just died right there, huh? We get a headlock on Nia and then a stunner to Nia. I think we got a headlock from Nia and then a stunner from Charlotte to Nia. Nia doesn't care for that shit and just shoves Charlotte down. Just shoves her. Shayna gets in. She's looking for the Kimura arm. She cannot get it. Charlotte's arm is purple at this point. Nia gets back in. She throws Flair into Shayna accidentally. But Nia then lifts her and Charlotte turns it into a sunset bomb attempt. But maybe it was the arm acting up. But after achieving what she wanted, she doesn't cover. She just lays there. Charlotte goes for the figure 4 attempt, but Nia breaks it up with a leg drop. Then Flair stomps Shayna away, tags in Asuka. We get a missile dropkick to Shayna. Nia gets in. We get a super kick to Nia and a hip attack back and forth to Nia and Shayna. She sends Nia into Shayna, and then we get a double knee to the face of Nia and an armbar that's broken up by Miss Shayna. Charlotte kicks Asuka in the face accidentally. She's going for Shayna, I believe. And Shayna says, adios, and the boot ends up on Asuka's little facade. This leads to a leg drop to Asuka from Nia for Nia and Shayna to win. And Charlotte offers her hand like, oh, hey, I know I got distracted again and fucked up, but like, we're all good, right? And Asuka's like, no, the fuck we are not. We are not good. We have not been good for a little while now. Because you cannot get your head in the game, Troy Bolton. Mm-hmm. So Charlotte, Asuka just shakes the hand off and like looks at her like, no way. Not a chance in fucking hell that I'm going to be nice to you right now. Not to the point where I feel like anything significant is going to come of this, but to the point where, like, damn, I don't know. That hurts.
Yeah. Also, I want to take this time to just read this quote from Jon Moxley, who was asked about AEW and WWE working together. And the possibility of it. His response was just, quote, that would never happen. That's not even worth wasting any mental energy to, you know.
He's not wrong. Vince has too much of an ego.
Yeah.
Unless Vince wasn't in control of the company and somebody who, like, more optimistic future was, it's not going to happen.
Agreed.
I think Vince is going to die with his clammy little paws stuck around WWE, so.
Yeah, unfortunately. But we have no time to waste before jumping into the next match, which is Jeff Hardy versus Shamu.
Yes. Oh boy. Don't know why we had this fucking match either. Now we've reached a point where I haven't highlighted anything, so.
I just realized, I asked you this question before we started watching Raw. I asked you if we'd see Drew tonight. Drew did not appear at all tonight.
Fine, let him. Don't say too much. Man needs a nap. Like, let him sleep.
Yeah, give him some time off.
I know that he broke his neck and it took his entire life convincing him not to wrestle anymore, like, while he was healing. But, like, you're older now, Drew. Anyways, so we had Sheamus, who immediately attacks Hardy, just starts pounding on him, sends some elbows into him. We get an uppercut and a clothesline that levels Hardy. Jeff gets sent into the barricade, and then Sheamus decides to pull off the Irish Curse backbreaker 3 fucking times. Which, honestly, I probably need. That might realign my spine a little bit. We get a jawbreaker to Sheamus and an attempted twist of fate. But that is met with a toss over the shoulders of Sheamus. Jeff lands on his feet, though. He manages a whisper in the wind and a boot to the... Like, the whisper in the wind ends with Jeff's shoe just falling right on Sheamus's head. And I was like, oh, my prince. Your poor little noggin. And Sheamus fully reacts to it. He's just like, oh my god, my fucking head. There's an atomic double leg drop kick. Oh. It's Jeff's stupid ass moveset that I've paraphrased. And I didn't even realize I paraphrased it as I was reading it. But the atomic double leg drop kick and a splash into the knees of Shamu. We get a frog splash onto Sheamus, and honestly, at this point, I was bored as fuck about this match. Jeff goes for the double knees in the corner, and Sheamus just kicks him all the way away. Just one boot out, Jeff Hardy flying. There's a twist of fate to Sheamus. Jeff goes up top. Sheamus ducks whatever the fuck move he was going for, and Jeff lands on his feet. We get a failed sunset flip.
Yeah?
We get a failed sunset flip to Sheamus. And a failed brogue. Jeff still manages to kick out. Finally, we get a brogue to the absolute soul of Jeff Hardy for Jeff Hardy to lose, Sheamus to win. And I believe the next thing that we have to deal with is the most heartbreaking promo I've ever had to Bucker, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. We had Charlotte, Flair, and Ric Flair backstage. Nobody's around, and Charlotte tells Rick that she can't focus anymore after Rick and Lacey just dancing around, and Lacey saying she's pregnant, and Rick pretending that he's the father. Charlotte says she's trying to protect the legacy by winning in the ring. And this is all delivered in a very heartfelt promo. Like, this is very much a father-daughter argument. This was real. Rick saw Lacey as a great competitor and just wanted to help out. But I think Charlotte says something along the lines of, she's just another blonde that you see as a great competitor. She's just one of the many blondes that you've been helping out. And Charlotte legitimately starts crying, like on the spot. Rick said he's just trying to give her tough love and expand the brand. He wants to make the Flair name. He wants the Flair name to be household. Charlotte said she doesn't see it that way, and she sees Rick trying to take spotlight. Ric Flair still wants to be. She says Ric Flair still wants to be the Nature Boy. During his daughter's time. So she just tells Rick to go home, but gives him a very heartfelt thank you and I love you for everything that he's done to help her. Oh, God. God. If there's one thing this episode did right, it's the goddamn storytelling. It's the promos. It was everything regarding the individual performances that we got. But that
I just want to say, alright, I don't do well with like father promos, and this one very much made me go like, okay, I'm fine, I'm good, it's okay, I don't feel sad, because I know for a fact if this were me, whether I know it's kayfabe or not, like, obviously she's aware of what's going on, but still, it's like, if that were me, I would have had a temper tantrum, like, 4 episodes ago.
Yeah.
I would have sat down and started kicking and screaming until my father was like, fine, I won't do it, Jesus H.
Especially with the whole pregnancy thing.
Oh, God. Like, that's my papa. No. Oof. Oof.
But
icky.
That heartfelt moment was ruined when we got Lana and Naomi versus Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose, although I am still convinced that Lana and Naomi are the perfect tag team for each other. They really do fit each other. But again, this should have been Charlotte and Asuka versus Lana and Naomi. That's how it should have gone.
Okay. So I have a confession.
Did you like this
I
match?
took the note of Naomi.
Oh.
Huh?
I thought you were going to say you liked this
No.
match.
Maybe if I knew what happened in this match. I saw Naomi come in, and she brought Dana over to the corner of Naomi and Lana. Like, she brought her over to their corner, and then Lana got in, did a scissor kick to Dana and a bulldog, and then we cut to Nia and Shayna backstage watching the match, and Nia fixed a piece of Shayna's hair and tucked it behind her ear, and I stopped taking notes. I was broken by that, and I was like, oh my God. I didn't realize that I was like in love with them as like 2 people together until quite literally this moment. I was like, ladies?
The only important thing, or the only interesting thing you need to know about this match is that Lana and Naomi both did one of those like split bulldogs. kind of like a double version
did
of what
they?
Carmella does.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Of course, I missed that.
Um,
Everyone knows I like a good bulldog.
showing that they're both a really good team, not just in looks but also in the ring. After that, we immediately, because they're trying to cram as much into this episode as possible, we have AJ Styles versus Ricochet. And you wanna start this 2-minute match?
All right, Ricochet kicks AJ from the ring. We get a spinebuster and a drop elbow, and then another drop elbow to AJ. We get a snap suplex, sending Ricochet into the turnbuckle, and a headlock sleeper on Ricochet from AJ. Ricochet unleashes on AJ until the point where AJ gets some double chops to the throat of Ricochet, and Ricochet steps backwards like, oh god, okay, I get it. You're not in the mood. AJ then tosses Ricochet onto the top rope, but can't manage to gather him on the rebound. I think he was going for that, that really cool move that he did the other couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, he caught the guy.
Yeah.
I think it was Lucha House Party. They can't gather him in time. Still manages to hold on to him. Ricochet helps climb up the ropes.
Sorry, real quick. It wasn't Lucha House Party. I think it was Drew Gulak. It was either Drew or Ricochet. Might have been Ricochet.
It may have been Ricochet, actually. Because it was the Royal Rumble qualifiers.
Yeah.
But anyways, Ricochet is now in AJ's arms, and like we have this like weird sunset flip that like nearly snaps AJ's neck. Just very strange shit. And typical Ricochet shit, because it was weird. We get a German bridging suplex and a 630 attempt, which AJ steps away from, so Ricochet just rolls on through. We then get a knee to the face of Ricochet and a Styles Clash for AJ to win. Anyways.
Yeah. So after that, we have Miz and Morrison backstage. They're trying to strategize about what to do in this coming match between Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman. But Braun walks in, and then immediately Miz and Morrison both leave before anyone gets a word in. And then we have the main event, Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley, with the Miz watching and MVP on the sidelines. Oh my god, was this a good match for how short it was. Oh.
Right. So, start with a sidewalk slam to Strowman, and Strowman gets a sidewalk slam off to Bobby. Braun splashes Bobby in the corner. Bobby is lifted up by Braun, and he holds on to the ropes for dear fucking life. But Strowman just basically, when he realizes he's not getting any like leverage, he just decides to toss Bobby from the ring, which I got nervous actually because Bobby caught himself with his foot. And I was like, ooh, oh no. Just fall on your ass. There's padding there, sweetie. Braun goes for his stupid little train shit while Lashley is now ringside. And Lashley, with cat-like fucking reflexes, leaps up onto the apron to avoid Mr. Strowman, sending him over the stairs. Once we're back inside, we get a shot to the knees and a fucking flatliner to Braun Strowman. Don't know how that's possible, but anyways. Then Lashley wants the full Nelson, but Strowman breaks out easily. Lashley nearly vertical suplexes Strowman. We end up getting a power slam to Lashley, not a Puma tackle. This one was a power slam. And a massive fucking spinebuster to Strowman to win. I was scared of Mr. Lashley in this moment.
This match was exactly what I wanted it to be. It was them proving that Bobby Lashley will be a goddamn strong champion. Instead of him taking the title from somebody super, like a strong champion like Drew did with Brock Lesnar, he's just taking out the strongest competition. And I am so glad they didn't have like Drew come in and screw things up, or I don't know, somebody else come in. This match, this whole storyline was perfectly booked today. and I say that very rarely in Raw, that something was perfectly booked, but this was great. And I think because the whole fatal 4-way for the chance at the US title was like last second, they really tied it in well with that. Like they tied that match in well with the storyline. Referencing that, why Bobby would be mad at Miz and Morrison even more. Everything just culminated into this great storyline and hopefully a great championship. I mean, imagine maybe Survivor Series next year, we get Bobby Lashley versus Roman Reigns. Or Bobby Lashley versus Edge, depending on how WrestleMania goes.
Sometimes I do worry with people like Bobby Lashley because it's like, well, who could beat him?
That's the thing. You want the best person to be the champion, because it's like Roman Reigns, the undisputed, undefeated champion. Like then you have these great matches along the way, but somebody comes in. Drew was like the strongest when he was in his title reign. But I think after what we've seen of Bobby, he is absolutely the only one who should be holding that right now. Oh man. And that's the episode of tonight's Raw. Now we have our best of the night to get to. And I think this will be the toughest promo of the night that we've ever done.
I think it's going to be easy for me.
You think it's going to be easy?
For me, I said.
I have an idea of what you're going to say. But I'm not sure what I'm going to say. So, let's see, scroll all the way up. We started with Miz TV, which normally I sigh at Miz TV because it's boring. It's the same constantly, but this one was different because we had immediately Bobby Lashley confronting the Miz. Great promo from MVP, really showing why the Hurt Business is just carrying Raw on their shoulders. Giving that 1 hour ultimatum was great. I really liked this promo. Then we had Riddle and Lucha House Party. That was lame. The Rhea Ripley video package. I really wonder what coming soon means. Like, what's the time frame with coming soon? Is it coming soon as in Fastlane, or is it coming soon as in next week?
I know with Keith they said coming soon, and I think we had to wait a couple weeks.
Oh, okay. Then we had the interview with Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. That was fun with R-Truth. We had Miz and Adam Pearce backstage. This was actually nice because we got an Adam Pearce that's just trying to mediate. He agrees with the Miz, but also is trying to just help things run according to plan. Then we have the decision-making time, which was this was a great promo. You had Bobby Lashley mad that he's just not getting what he was promised. Braun comes in. I sighed when Braun came in, but I think he did a good job because he's kind of been screwed over at this point. But he's also doing the crybaby role really well. And then the Miz, when Shane said that the Miz was going to defend the title in a triple threat if Braun won, and his just 1,000-yard stare. It was perfect. That was so good. And even Shane didn't annoy me today. Shane normally just makes me roll my eyes, but lately he's been good as the general manager of Raw.
Listen, I don't need him coming out saying anything unless it's saying Raw Underground is back with the go-go dancers. The only thing I care about him saying to me. Fair. Also, where's Dabba-Kato? miss him.
He's in Shane's basement. He's living at
He's
Shane's
just still
house.
fighting.
Yeah.
Fighting to this day.
He's fighting the house.
Spider has to live there now because Spider like is the referee forever and always. He's so tired looking all the time.
Oh. Then we have Randy Orton backstage. Really well delivered promo. Like, again, proved that Randy Orton is an incredible actor and wrestler, able to deliver such great promos. Just the dismissal of the cough, just being, just clearing his throat. It was cool. It actually was really cool. And then we had Charlotte and Rick in a promo that like broke my heart because this was real. Charlotte poured her heart into this. Ric Flair. This was a father-daughter moment. This was very much them just giving a real-life argument. And everything that was said was just said with so much heart, so much sadness and passion. It was so... It didn't need to be this painful either, but it really was. It
would have just been angry and I would have said, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, like if she just yelled at
She
Rick,
went for the tears and I said...
Yeah. She didn't need to cry.
Like, the waterworks started and I just sat there like, oh. Okay, all right.
Yeah. Oh, and then we had Miz and Morrison backstage planning their match. Yeah. So, oh man. I think I'm going to give it to Charlotte and Ric Flair. That promo was just... It invoked more emotions than almost any promo we've ever seen.
I agree.
All right. So now we have Wrestler of the Night. We started off with John Morrison versus the Riddle. I'm giving this to John Morrison, although Riddle gave us a better performance than he normally does, being on the main roster. John Morrison put more into this match than his more recent matches. I mean, I'm not... Recently, I haven't been a fan of John Morrison's wrestling because it's mostly just been all flash and flips, no real impact, but I think he brought it today. He tried some grappling and it worked a lot better than you would have expected if you told me that John Morrison was going to do some grappling. After that, we had the New Day versus Retribution. I'll give this one to Kofi. Kofi did a great job. But there wasn't much in this match to really analyze, to really appreciate. And we have the Hurt Business versus Lucha House Party. I give this one to Cedric. I don't know. Cedric was good. Shelton was good. Lindsay and Grand Metalik were both alright. In terms of individual performance, this match was really nothing to gloat about. Didn't love anybody's performance, really. Then we had Damian Priest versus Angel Garza, and my god, Damian gave a hell of a performance, not just with great wrestling, but he also gave the passion and performance in a match that was just a jobber match. Angel Garza was practically just a jobber in that match, but Damian still gave it his all. He didn't need to, but he did, because he did all for Bad Bunny. And you know what? The real reason why the real reason why he gave it his all was because he knew Bad Bunny fans would be watching that match, and that would be their only WWE content of this week. And he wanted their only WWE content to be a good performance from Damian.
He does such a good job, honestly.
He does. He does. Then we have Charlotte Flair and Asuka versus Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler. I'll give this one to Charlotte. Charlotte did a really good job. She spent most of the time in the ring. Asuka, she had the hot tag, and that was really it. Nia, I don't know. Nia's movements are very slow, and her leg drops always bother me, just because she barely gets off the ground. They never seem too impactful. Shayna. Okay. I have been having some problems with Shayna lately. She's been very light and delicate with her moves, and not just with that delicate wrist lock that you were talking about before, but with her kicks, with a lot of her.
I mean, I wasn't talking that like I didn't like it. I just said that like it's weird that like it looks so painful, but the way that she holds a person's hand looks so gentle, like almost like a serial killer dissecting a bird.
Right.
That's what I meant by that.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like her. Most of her moves have become less aggressive and brutal, and something we would see from like.
She's been neutralized.
Yeah, Riddle also did that same thing. Like normally he's very fast and strong with his kicks and his punches, but he was very delicate today. And I think out of everyone in this match, Charlotte gave the best performance. Then we had Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus. I was happier with Jeff Hardy's performance than normal in this match, but I think this definitely was Sheamus all the way. Sheamus always gives a lot of passion in his wrestling. He carries a certain anger and aggression with him that puts him over more than other wrestlers. And he's more versatile with his moveset than Jeff is, which is unfortunate, but it's the reality we live in. Then we have Lana and Naomi versus Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. I didn't give this one to anyone, actually. We'll skip it. Then we have AJ Styles versus Ricochet. I give this one to AJ. Because I love AJ's moveset. He's such a great wrestler. And I mean, that bounce off of the ropes, even if he didn't get all of it this time, he could have played it off like it was intentional, or Ricochet like broke out of it or something. And he's just such a great wrestler, so good on the spot. Everything he does is gold. And then his interactions with Omos too are just so natural. And then we had Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley. And my God, did Bobby Lashley give a hell of a performance today. He was mad. He was strong as hell. He was a champion. He was a goddamn champion. So that's all I can really say about Bobby's performance, because that's really how you can encapsulate it all. But if I'm going to give this title of Wrestler of the Night to anyone, you know what? By God, I'm going to give it to Damian Priest.
You know what? It was hectic. I can agree with that. I can absolutely agree with that. I think he looked amazing, and I think that, you know, we always talk about wanting to make sure that we discuss both the character work, the selling, the movesets. He was expressive. Mm-hmm. He looked good. He looked clean.
He made Angel look good too.
He made Angel look good. And on top of that, just the evolution that we've gotten recently with his character work is just so good. And I feel like they're sanitizing his character a lot for the main roster. I think it's working for him.
Yeah, and I think he's happy with where he is too, because he seems to carry a lot more confidence with him than he did on NXT. But now we have match of the night, and I know exactly what I'm going to pick for this one. So we started off with John Morrison versus Riddle. Very light, delicate attacks from everyone. I didn't, watching this, I didn't feel like it was a real fight at all. Riddle giving a better performance than he normally does, but I don't know why he and John Morrison were both hitting so delicately today. Then we had the New Day versus Retribution. Nobody shined. We got really like nothing out of it, really. I mean, we got Mustafa yelling at Retribution again, but it's just the same thing. Like, he always yells at them. Give us a little faster progression with this storyline. I want to know what's going to get out of it because I am interested. It's just moving a little slowly right now. Then we had Hurt Business versus Lucha House Party. I think this match was like 5 steps back from where we were last week with this story. Like, first of all, stop giving us Lucha House Party versus Hurt Business. We got great matches out of them the first 3 times. Now it's just, it's obvious that WWE has nothing else to give Hurt Business, so they're just giving them Lucha House Party. And then you didn't have any conflict between Cedric and Shelton, so what's the point? You could eliminate half of these matches if this was a 2-hour match, or a 2-hour show. Like, this would be easy. Then we had Damian Priest versus Angel Garza in a surprisingly fantastic match. I mean, Bad Bunny on the sidelines was a great addition. Angel Garza was great in this match, better than I thought he would ever be. Damian just killed it. Damian absolutely knocked this match out of the park. And I hope they give him a lot more in the future than just jobbers. It's unfortunate to say that Angel Garza is a jobber, but at this point, he really is. Then we have Charlotte Flair.
At least for now.
Yeah, for now. Then we have Charlotte Flair and Asuka versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Again, this match should not have gone like this. Shayna was not fighting how she should be. Nia Jax, she's been fighting how she normally does. Can't really complain too much about that. Asuka, fine. Charlotte Flair, she did well. But like, why? Oh my god, you don't need Nia and Shayna fighting every week on every brand. They're on every brand doing something. Give them a rest. Have their matches mean something. Like Drew.
That's what Raw's about. Raw makes nothing matter.
Right.
Which is just so infuriating. They did that with Drew. They made it so that he was champion that people enjoyed for a little while, and then everyone hated him because nothing mattered anymore because we knew Drew was winning. C'est la vie. And it just continues with Shayna and Nia and that title. It continues with Asuka. Asuka's title has not mattered in so long. Like, in a ridiculously long time. We got teased with the chance of it mattering, and then Lacey Evans got fucking pregnant. So, thank you, Lacey. Thank you.
Yeah. Like, compare it to SmackDown. If you want to compare tag team titles, look at the SmackDown tag team title. When was the last time we saw Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler in a tag team match? When was the last time?
Well, to be fair, they did get it right before the wind-up for Elimination Chamber, so there is something to be said there.
No, they got it before. They got it, like, at the beginning of the year. Like, the very beginning. Because they got it before Rumble.
I mean, what's a tag team anyways, when you really think about it? Well, like, when you boil it down, what's a tag team?
Because Dolph and Roode were like, let us compete to be in the chamber. And then Sonya was like, do you want to both be in a pod together? Like... But that's just like... when
Maybe the tag team was the friends we made along the way.
When you're a champion, you gotta have your matches sparingly. You know? Have your matches mean something.
But the problem there, and like not to play devil's advocate because I was just advocating for the exact opposite, but the problem there is that if you're not a fighting champion, fans also get bored of you. So it's like this delicate balance between being a fighting champion but not being a champion that fights for literally every single fucking thing.
Okay. Have a champion defend the title at every pay-per-view, maybe every other pay-per-view, but don't have them wrestle on regular episodes every week.
We'll never forget yesterday when they were talking at Elimination Chamber, and fucking Tom Phillips goes and lists every single pay-per-view that we watched Randy and Drew fight at, and I was sitting there like, don't you see the problem, Thomas? Don't you get it?
Oh my god, that's like at the kickoff for Elimination Chamber when like Peter Rosenberg out of nowhere was like, this is the, like, when will Miz cash in the briefcase? Because this has been the longest time anyone has held the briefcase. It's like you are echoing what everyone's been saying in the fan base. Like, anyway, we should move on before we go too long with this. We have Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus next.
We have NXT to have opinions.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And SmackDown.
Well, I mean, SmackDown's just my drinking podcast.
Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus.
If we're being honest.
Why did this match happen? Why? Oh.
I thought it was a match for, and you kind of put this idea in my head. I thought this was a match for Drew to come in and be like, well, now I'm a heel because I'm mad. Oh god, I just got lemon juice down my throat.
I mean, I'm glad Drew didn't come in. I'm glad this was just a match. It was solid wrestling from both of them. But in context, there is no context. We had this rivalry months ago. You don't need to put these two together.
Yeah, wait. Oh my god. I did not even remember the Jeff Hardy Sheamus.
Oh my god, how
rivalry.
Could you not remember?
I blocked it out, I guess, because that happened around the same time as SmackDown Karaoke and the same time that the hacker thing was going on. And we never actually found out who the fuck actually did it with bona fide proof, even though the hacker apparently has cameras in every fucking corner of the WWE Thunderdome. It was fine. It was fine. It didn't like, I didn't feel like Charlie fucking connecting the goddamn dots to Pepe Sylvia. I didn't feel like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe I blocked it out a little bit. Plus the piss incident.
Oh.
That was just...
Shout out to Sean Ross Sapp with that amazing tweet.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that one back, Sean.
So after that, we have Lana and Naomi versus Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose in a pointless match that lasted all of 2 seconds. This sucked. Again, you could have not had this match had Lana and Naomi fight Charlotte and Asuka and just extended Braun versus Bobby. There you go. After that, we have AJ Styles versus... Yeah.
I was just going to say that, like, the fact that we had a Naomi-Lana match, and the fact that we had a Nia and Shayna match, makes me feel like what happened with Charlotte, we could have swapped, right? We could have had Nia Shayna versus Lana and Naomi started that feud now because they are going to get an opportunity. And I know people are saying, like, because I saw people complaining in the same way that we were complaining, like, why are you not letting them get that opportunity? And somebody, like, I mean, I saw some people saying, well, it's not a title shot. It's not a title match, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't count. But at the same time, like, but we have to start the storyline. Like, you're not just going to suddenly come out of nowhere and be like, oh, and now this match matters. Mm-hmm. But I don't understand why we couldn't have just had a non-consequential Charlotte and Asuka versus Dana and Mandy match where Charlotte fucks everything up. And a match to build, like, up to whatever the fuck Nia and Shayna versus Lana and Naomi's gonna be.
I do get not putting them together, Lana and Naomi versus Shayna and Nia, because you do want to build up Lana and Naomi as a good tag team and give them some wins. So having them face Charlotte and Asuka would literally be the perfect way to do that. It would literally be perfect.
But you see face versus face, Marcus. You know this. This doesn't work.
But Charlotte's not a face right now. She's not.
Charlotte's a face.
Not
Charlotte's just
really.
conflicted.
She's
She
like,
is.
she's like an NXT version of a face. Like, she's kind of ambiguous. Like, I don't know. You also had AJ Styles versus Ricochet. That's face versus face. Jeff Hardy, Sheamus is a heel. As that is. But okay, Lana, Naomi versus Dana and Mandy. That's 2 face tag teams right there.
Yeah. Whoops. Anyways.
Anyway, AJ Styles versus Ricochet in a match that was good. It was good, decent wrestling all around. I saw, I think it was Sean Ross Sapp tweet wondering why they're protecting AJ so much right now. What are they building up to with him? And I hope it's something good. I hope it's Bobby versus AJ sometime soon. Or AJ versus Riddle for the United States title. But this match did not need to happen. There was no reason for this match. It was... But we ended the night with Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley. This match was awesome. Because we built up Bobby as a great champion, as a strong fucking just powerhouse. I cannot wait for his championship reign. It is going to be so good. And the amount of challenges they can put in front of him, I'm so excited. This match was great. You had Braun being Braun without doing the goddamn train around the ring. You had Bobby just suplexing Braun. The failed Hurt Lock was well done. And then the spear to just top it all off. This was great. And I do say it should be longer. Like they could have made it longer, but I think with as long as it was, they really just dealt with that length the best way possible. They really did a great job with time management on this one. I mean, set 6 minutes for this. They made it seem like 15, 20. It was good. It was really good. So, my pick for match...
I just stuck my finger in the cat's ear.
Oh, gross.
I know.
I think my pick for match of the night, 100%, is Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley. I think this opens the gate to great things in Raw. At least a great main card.
Ooh.
Are you gonna say Damian?
See, if I had my way, I would just... No, I was not necessarily going to say that. I'm going to say that if I had my way, I would just say none of them. I mean, Damian and Angel Garza. Damian and Angel Garza was really good, but it was too short. Braun and Bobby was pretty good, but Braun's about as interesting as a pile of bricks, and that was also too short. Lucha House Party and Shelton was pretty good, but too short. For once in my life, I almost wish that the matches were longer. Because we had 3 hours to fill, and they said, here's every single person on our fucking roster. Enjoy.
It's almost like they shouldn't have had 9 matches today.
That is insane. They normally have like 6.
Yeah.
If that. Sometimes it's just 5.
Mm-hmm. They really scrambled with that post-pay-per-view episode.
There was no need. Like, we didn't need Sheamus and AJ. We didn't need Naomi and Lana versus Dana and Mandy. We didn't need Charlotte and Asuka versus Shayna and Nia. That could have all been condensed into one singular match, those 2 women's matches tonight.
Right.
And I guess I do give them kudos for saying, like, hey, this is all we can offer you as far as women's matches go post pay-per-view, so here's what you get. We're just gonna divide it so that it makes the most sense. I do respect that. But it's just... I don't know, man. Braun's just so fucking
But
boring to me.
can I give a retort to that?
You can retort. I don't really have an opinion tonight, so but continue.
I think they're really building up to a really good heel Braun. A heel Braun that's a crybaby that wants to be given a chance by WWE and has everything taken from him, and he's gonna try and like destroy the system with it. And
I see. I get what you're saying. I do.
mhm.
But we had kind of a pissant Braun before he vanished, before he got the leg injury, and he was complaining about everything, and that was annoying.
Well, I think actually I just thought about this. What if Retribution recruits him? He's kind of like against the system right now.
I don't think that they can do that because, like, who are they gonna fight?
Hurt Business.
If they've got three of the biggest men, who are they fighting?
Hurt Business.
And what is his name gonna be?
Black Sheep. He's already been masked.
So not AIM away message?
No, it's Newarb.
Newarb?
It's Rhubarb. Rhubarb, that's his name.
Rhubarb, okay. It's kind of farmer's market-y. I like that. Yeah. Rhubarb and Swapjack. Still not over Swapjack, dude. I will never be over Swapjack in my entire life, no matter... maybe this will grate on Mustafa's nerves, so I apologize in advance. Because I am kind of making fun of Slapjack's name, but still, he changed his Twitter handle to it, so I cannot be held accountable. That's the best thing that ever happened to me when I saw Swapjack, because apparently he, like, did this.
Yeah.
During the match last night, and I was like, is that my prince? Is that my sweet, sweet, sweet prince, Shane Thorne?
But going back to...
Yeah, I don't have an opinion, because there were matches that I liked, but matches that needed to be longer. That's the main gripe I have with a lot of the matches tonight that I liked.
Yeah.
Is that they were too short.
But going back to Braun real quick, if they put him in Retribution, I mean, Retribution already showed that they have, like, immense numbers. Like, they have a ton of followers. And I think they could just do with, like, a big roster of people that, like, they're not necessarily stable where they have a dedicated tag team, a dedicated singles,
but they're a movement.
Yeah, like, they just have people that they could bring out for matches whenever they want, so it's kind of more of a surprise, like, who a wrestler is going to be fighting. And that suddenly puts Mustafa and the rest of Retribution in the main card against Hurt Business, like they've been trying to show this whole time. Like they started.
Whatever. I'll go with you.
Okay.
Because it's tied in my head. Like, Braun's boring, but Damian's match was too short. Damian's the most interesting character that we've had in a long time, but his match was too short.
But think about how interesting Bobby Lashley is right now.
Dude, Bobby Lashley's the most interesting piece of shit, dude. Honestly.
I'm telling you, Hurt Business is literally the only thing carrying Raw right now. And Bad Bunny, I guess.
Yeah, I'm way more interested in Bobby than I used to be. That's for sure. You can have that much.
Okay. So, to run it back, our promo of the night, Charlotte Flair and Ric Flair argue. Wrestler of the night, Damian Priest. Match of the night, Braun Strowman versus Bobby Lashley.
You cut out on my end for the entire... You said, okay, so to run it back, and then all I heard after that was Roman and Bobby Lashley, and I was like, where the fuck am I? I was like, what happened?
That's
what timeline did I get transported to?
That's the universe foreshadowing the eventual Survivor Series match between Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley.
Alright, I'll take it. That's probably pretty interesting. Spear versus spear.
Put that in your WrestleMania predictions.
Alrighty.
Liz, would you do
Look
the
at those
honors?
cheekbones. Look at those cheekbones.
Please.
Alrighty. Hi. If you tuned in tonight, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. If you didn't tune in tonight, but you tuned in the future, thank you for tuning in. I still appreciate you. What do I want to say here? Please make sure to tune in on Wednesday. Monday nights suck for us. We do our best just to bring you the post show. Huh?
You said Tuesday.
I said Monday nights.
Well, before that, you said tune in Tuesday.
Oh, that's wrong. Don't tune in Tuesday. We will fucking be here. You can tune in and do whatever you want. We won't be here. But Monday nights are hard for us because, harder for us tonight because Mark has shit to do tomorrow, but hard for us because it's 3 hours of stuff to cram into a podcast on a Monday night when our work weeks are just starting. But we try our best. However, Wednesdays are usually our best days because, one, it's NXT. My life basically at this point revolves around Wednesdays, where I'm just like, all other 6 days I'm just like, oh fuck, it's like Tuesday, oh fuck, it's Thursday, oh fuck, it's Friday. But on Wednesdays I wake up and I'm like, it's Wednesday. So please tune in on Wednesday. We will be talking about NXT. It is, in my humblest of opinions, and I am pretty humble when it comes to being self-serving, it is our best nights because fucking NXT is insane. So good. So please tune in. You will not be disappointed. I promise you. Like, I will give you $1 if you are disappointed.
Now people are going to come in and say they're disappointed.
I'm not signing anything that says that.
Oh, so you're the Miz now. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so please tune in. We'll be here on Wednesday.
Yes, Wednesday.
Thank you all Tuesday.
Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Hit the follow or subscribe button. If you're watching on Twitch, check us out on YouTube. The Pinfall Podcast if you missed part of this episode or want to check out the previous episodes. Unfortunately, the Elimination Chamber episode will be going up tomorrow because it took a while to render it today. But it will be up tomorrow. This episode will probably be going up Wednesday, sometime around then. But our Twitter is at Pinfall Podcast. I am at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. And don't forget to check out the Universal Pokemon Federation on YouTube. New episode out now. Combination of WWE and Pokemon. It is a fun, nerdy time. We all love it. Alright. Thank you all for watching. See you on Wednesday for NXT. Have a great night, everybody.